So, where to start? This is something that I've been doing for 5 years for now, on and off, at least 6 months a year, I would say. And it does help me with anxiety and worries. And it's something that I research about, and over the years kind of created upon all the knowledge and information that I could find about this. So I was really interested about the law of attraction, of course, as anyone at some point in our life, especially about the fact that we actually attract to our life what is in our subconscious rather with our conscious thoughts, because our subconscious is much deeper and much more powerful, etc., etc. And the whole idea about this practice that I want to share with you is about how to actually rewire not your conscious mind, but your subconscious mind, and how to get access to this very subtle, invisible to us mind. So to make it short and sweet here, the first thing that I think I've combined 3 things here. First thing is that we can access our subconscious mind while we're sleeping. And so-called theta waves are the waves that the brain produces when we are under 7 years old. That's why there is a saying, show me a boy under 7, or at the age of 7, and I will tell you how he's going to be as a man. Because in this period of time, because of these waves, we are able, under the age of 7, to kind of, our mind is open to everything. Our subconscious mind is open to everything. That's why, parenting is so important. The way you the way you were treated under 7 years old, it's how you actually program your subconscious mind. And that's incredibly powerful. So to reprogram subconscious mind, obviously we need to get back to that state when we were having theta waves in our brain. So, the first thing, what can we do? Probably listen to some theta waves while we're sleeping. All right, so that's the gate to our subconscious mind. To reprogram it, really, to let subconscious mind to learn something new or rewrite the old program. So the second thing was about repetition. So we all know at some point in life, life really proves us that whatever we repeat becomes our habit, and our habit creates our life. So repetition is so important, and that's the way we can actually teach our subconscious mind, by repeating the same and the same thought. Obviously, we cannot do it consciously, so we cannot, of course, we can go through the day and repeat some kind of mantra, but like I said, our conscious mind is so weak unless we eliminate all the blockages that subconscious mind constantly produces, puts out there to our conscious mind, we're not going to reach any results. So, as I said, to access subconscious mind, listen to theta waves during sleeping. To teach our subconscious mind to reprogram, keep repeating the same phrases. So the way we do this by recording. You can record with your voice phrases and then loop it in a program like this. It's a Filmora. You can download it for free if you're smart, somewhere on the internet. Simply take one phrase and over here just copy and paste and loop it and loop it, I don't know, 9, 20 times. And the third thing is what I learned. This is what I've taken actually from the law of attraction, and that's what's been proven to be very productive, is to trick our mind in belief. So third thing is about belief. And we trick our mind in believing that something that we want has already happened. So of course we can say, if we wanna, let's say, lose some weight, we can say, yeah, I have lost some weight. But what I found even more powerful, if you add to this a sense of emotion that comes from your heart, that makes your thought even more powerful. So if you say, I'm grateful that this has already happened, that will boost the power of this phrase. So why I found this so helpful with my anxiety is because during the day, I'm sure everyone can relate to this, my mind catches this random thought that goes through my brain, through my energy, about all my deep anxiety beliefs that obviously maybe come from my childhood. It's something that's caused by unresolved trauma, whatever shrink would tell you here, but this is it, and I have to deal with this, and if I have not dealt, that my brain will remind me about this. So there are two ways. So of course I can just dwell into worrying about all these anxious thoughts, but if I treat it as a friend, like they say, treat your fear as a friend. If I treat it as a friend who reminds me of something that I can transform, then what I can do is I can simply go to my phone or, any notebook here and type here my worries. For example, I don't know. I'm not having enough money, let's go with something simple and very common that anyone can relate to. I'm not having enough money for, whatever you need here. So I would write down my worry, and then the way I would transform it and work on that to reprogram my subconscious mind is by writing, I am grateful that I have enough money. So why I love this system so much is that every single thought, like I'm talking about this worry and anxious thought that comes to my mind, because I put it right away in my notebook and I transform it, and that could be useful and productive, when I've done it, that's it. My brain, my mind, let this thought go because I trick my brain into making it believe that now it's solved. Because, we get more and more worried about our anxious thought because we can't solve it. We're worried about something because it's not solved yet and we don't know the exit, we don't know how to solve it. So when I take my anxious thought, I put it here, I transform it, I know that it will be taken care of while sleeping with my subconscious and will be transformed. So eventually I end up having, over a course of maybe a month, I end up having maybe 10 up to 20 different phrases that are caused by my worry. I write it down, I transform it in a sense that it has already happened and I'm grateful for it. And then like I said, I'm taking my phone. You probably have a very simple audio app, so just record these phrases. Try to record it in a very soft, calm, very clear speech, because you need to be able to fall asleep with this, continue sleeping with this, and still understand each word clearly. Like sometimes I would make a mistake. I would write, I'm grateful, I feel safe and secure. And because I didn't pronounce clearly and secure, it would sound like insecure. So I was like, oh, hell. I would just delete it and I would have to re-record it again and probably say first secure and safe. So just these little things, just make sure that you pronounce every word very calm, very clear, and obviously like with no background noise. So what I do is that, as you can see on YouTube, if you just type theta waves, I found, I believe it's Christopher Lloyd, yes, exactly, Dr. Christopher Lloyd Clark. You can still find his music on YouTube, and he's really into those waves, and I don't know, when I listen to them I just feel good, so I downloaded a couple of his music here. And next thing, I just combined it with this audio, my Grateful List audio. So like I said, I loop some phrases in as many times as I want, and then I combined it with theta waves music. And when you combine, just make sure that your speech is not, you need to find a very good balance, so make sure that your speech is not sinking into the music. So it has to be quite clear, but at the same time, theta waves should be present as well. So now let's talk about for how long do I do this. So you have to do this every night. That's another thing why I love this method, because it's not only let me feel that my anxious thoughts are gonna be taken care of and I solve them. It also makes me feel that I'm lazy about all of this stuff. Guys, clearly sometimes I don't have time to just, maybe sit and read it, because some people say just sit and keep reading or keep thinking about this. No, thinking about the same thought doesn't work to me, because I would start thinking about, phrase, I'm grateful I have enough money, and then 5 seconds later I will thinking about, what is giraffe is doing in Africa, So reading it over again, yes, that helps me to still be focused. But again, sometimes it's even hard for me to motivate myself during the day, even for 5 minutes, to sit and do this. Now, when I just go to sleep and I put this amazing, beautiful music that helps me to fall asleep with amazing, soft, beautiful voice of mine, it just helps me to fall asleep. After some time, I just get addicted to this, guys. I just can't go to sleep without having this in my ears. So it's very easy. You sleep and your subconscious work for you. Why I said this is because you need to do this for 90 days, for 3 months, every day. So you see where I'm heading? Like, if you need to find 5 minutes a day to do this, you have a big chance to skip some days or maybe even weeks. When you do this every night, you can do this every night easily. So in this case, it's very easy to keep the routine because the repetition in your routine is also absolutely crucial here. So you do this for 90 days, and I can tell you, because I've done this for 5 years, and obviously I have analyzed and I've noticed what was happening to me. I give you an example. Let's work with the phrase, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I am a millionaire. So when you say this phrase to yourself, in the best case scenario, you will just laugh at that. And that's called rejection. So that's how your subconscious mind rejects this thought. And you're like, okay, fine. So in the first couple of days, it doesn't take much time, but in the first couple of days, you will still kind of really ignore. You will feel this, that it doesn't sink. It doesn't sink to your mind at all. Okay, after maybe a couple of days, you will start laughing, stop laughing about this phrase. And by the end of the first week, let's say you start accepting it. Okay, you kind of start really focusing on it and maybe believe it, maybe. So what happens in the next month is that when you hear the same, when you listen to that phrase again, you will feel kind of flickering. How to explain? It will be like on and off. Believing, not believing, believing, not believing, believing, not believing. And the first signs of progress you will feel after 1.5 months. So we're talking about 45 days. So after 45 days, you start to feel that this thought, I'm grateful, I'll become a millionaire, start really sinking into your mind. And when you feel it, it really feels like it goes deep. You will feel that feeling. It goes deep down, it sinks. So that's how you know your subconscious mind starts accepting. All right? And then in the last month and a half, this is where something will always start happening in your life, some changes. Obviously, after 3 months, you're not becoming a millionaire, but you're achieving something else that you have not even thought about, which is in the same direction. And that's always, I've noticed this pattern in life, you have to always create something in your mind, and you always achieve something, but not necessarily the way you would expect that result to present itself. So coming back to this example, I'm grateful I become a millionaire. After 3 months, no, I have not become a millionaire, but I started having my life has changed so much that I found myself in completely different circumstances, with different friends, different status, social status. And again, these little things you don't notice right away. It's like only after you look back, oh yeah, of course. And you kind of connect the dots. So, I ended up having the most money I had in my entire life. And usually, I'm not talking about slight changes after 3 months. You will have great changes in your life. Like I'm talking about, I don't know, getting out of toxic relationship, changing work, changing countries, changing houses, starting completely new life in some spiritual way, starting new projects, buying new, I don't know, houses, new home, new cars. I mean, I'm talking about these kind of changes, and it always happened to me. Just a, simple example, I always wanted to travel and see the world on a budget, and I started doing this exercise that I think I was saying that, I'm grateful that I see the world, or something like this, something about travel. And then, like I said, the thing is, because you are putting this in your ears while sleeping, after months, you forget what is in your hypnosis. It's called after hypnosis. You completely forget which kind of phrases which kind of phrases are there in the recording. So obviously, I started my 3 months practice, and then I would just continue it over 3 months. You forget about this, 3 months. You don't have this really deadline. You just get used to listening to this music every night, and you just keep listening till you finally think, okay, it's time to maybe re-record new phrases, because obviously over 3 months you will get new anxious thoughts that you want to use to reprogram your mind. Anyway, so I at some point in my life, I decided to travel, and I found the way to travel on a budget, and I bought my first ticket, and it was even postponed, so I had to change my ticket later. So, bam, I'm out to Italy. And then after some time, I was looking through my phone, and I found that the deadline of that 3 months practice, like the last day of this 3 months practice, was exactly the date. Guess what? Yes, right. The date of my ticket to Italy. So there were many things, or I found myself sometimes entering new relationship exactly that week that I was supposed to finish my 3 months practice, or buying a new car, or completely changing my life and moving in absolutely different country and settling there and starting new life there. Or another thing, it's funny, sometimes you need to, for example, sometimes you need to start learning a new language. And you know how it goes when you have to do this, but in your energy something resisted, and you're like, no, it's not the right time, not now, not now, not now. So that means you have some kind of blockage in your subconscious. So I needed to learn a new language, and I really didn't feel like doing this. So I put it on my grateful list, right? So I'm grateful that, I can speak this language fluently. And seriously, over a month, like within a month, I felt like, yeah, this thought I accepted. Yeah, I feel like I can do that. And I feel like, yeah, there is a way to do this, and it's interesting to me, and yeah, I want to do this. I like this idea. I feel like I have my will to do this. So, anyway, so these are just little examples for you guys. So keep in mind there's 3 main things. Access your subconscious, repeat it every night for 3 months. Write down the thoughts your anxious thoughts, transform them into the time, into opposite, obviously, in the time that it has already happened, and that you are grateful for it. So all these three things produces an amazing result in your life. And the best thing is that just while doing this, you really feel that you solve these worries. You don't have to hold on to them anymore. You feel like, yeah, okay, I've done it. I've written. It's going to be taken care in my subconscious, in my after hypnosis while I'm sleeping. All right, so I hope that was helpful.